I'm Denny Unger, the CEO, Creative Director of Cloudhead Games. We're here at GDC showing Heart of the Emberstone, which is the sequel to episode 1 of the gallery, which is called the Starseed. We launched with the Vive, and then it was bundled with the Vive. And I think for a lot of people, as a first-time VR experience, it was a big eye-opener, I think, for a lot of people in terms of what was possible in the format, in the medium, and then just kind of how to approach it. How do you approach design for that medium? So I think on that basis, it was a big success. We were one of the first companies to cross $1 million in revenue, which was great. It's still a super small market, but that meant something to us as a company, and we were able to continue from there. Our first game was very Goonies inspired. This one is very kind of Dark Crystal, Labyrinth inspired, and a bit of Indiana Jones. In this episode, we're kind of answering a bunch of questions left from episode 1. Who is this mysterious watcher who has sent your sister on this mission, and why are you going into this world? What is his backstory? What's his origin story? So it's very much about explaining motivations and taking you into an alien planet, essentially, the world of Ember, which is kind of this desolate world on its last legs. Episode 1 really kind of was the litmus test for getting users used to just moving around in VR and interacting and doing really basic things, and everything was very gated and controlled, and let's make sure people understand these fundamentals first. And then as we got to the end of the episode, we kind of ramped it up and did some weird stuff. Episode 2 gave us the latitude to be more creative and really push the boundaries on, take the gloves off basically, and make things more difficult, more challenging, more spatial, non-linear, giving the user as much freedom as we possibly could, now that they understand, oh, this is how I exist in VR, this is what I can do. So a lot of the puzzle design and just the way the environments are constructed are kind of based around and designed with that influence in mind. Freedom, right? And lots of mobility. Well, bigger is better, but it's also how to make that intimacy of small spaces in VR translate to bigger spaces, which was a big challenge. But once we kind of understood the fundamentals of what made a small experience fun, we were able to kind of translate it to these larger spaces that kind of unfold in really interesting ways over time. Spring, yeah, we're saying spring. Oculus and Vive at launch. So we're expecting between 4 and 6 hours. Quite honestly, we're still experimenting with how long the playtime will end up being. We need to run more people through it to really understand that, but it's around 3 times longer than episode 1. One of the things was with episode 1 we were exploring optimization for PSVR. PSVR has some optimization bottlenecks. You have to really retreat a lot of assets to make it work on that platform. Episode 2, we're kind of building that stuff in, so we've accounted for it, but we're going to essentially kind of do those 2 projects at the same time for the port to PSVR. I don't know when that's going to come out, but it is something that's on the books. The interesting thing about Starseed and the kind of narrative structure we're building is that it could go on endlessly, so we don't really have a cap on it yet. It could end at episode 3, it might go 20 episodes. It really kind of depends on a lot of things, the popularity of the IP, the market, and how much fun and how much support we have doing what we're doing.